Buongiorno a tutti.
Good morning, everyone.
Innanzitutto vi ringrazio per
First of
essere
all,
qui
I'd
con
like
noi.
to thank you for being with us.
Ormai è il secondo anno
It's the
che stiamo
second year
sperimentando
that we
questo modo di
experiment with
vederci, questo modo di
this new
incontrarci.
way of meeting, of getting
Oggi
together.
siamo qui con un po'
And
di amici,
today
con un po' di
we're here
designer.
with some friends and
Saranno
designers.
assistiti da Silvia
They will
Botti
be
per raccontare un po'
assisted and
quello
helped
che
by
stiamo
Silvia Botti
facendo.
to tell
E
you
le
what we're doing
valutazioni e le cose che
and
continuiamo a fare è
the things
immaginare
we
il nostro
continue to do
futuro,
and imagine are
immaginare come
exactly
vedremo le nostre case,
trying to conceive as we see
immaginare
our
come
future, as
saranno
we see our
sostanzialmente
home
i nostri
places,
prodotti.
and as our products will
Volevo
look
prima di
like.
tutto fare un'osservazione
In the
di
first place, I
carattere
would like
generale.
to give you a
Se
general
pensiamo bene,
overview.
la nostra vita è soprattutto
If we
cambiata nel
think
nostro
about
modo
it,
di lavorare.
well, we can say that our life has changed
Abbiamo scoperto cosa
in terms of the
significa
way we
lavorare in
work.
maniera ibrida,
We have
cosa
discovered what
significa stare
hybrid
poche
work
volte in
means.
ufficio e
We have
molte
discovered
volte
what it
a
means
casa.
being
Su questo
rarely in the
tema i giorni
office
scorsi è
and
uscita una ricerca molto
working from
interessante
home.
della Microsoft, nella
And a
quale in
Microsoft
sintesi si
research has
dice
been
due o
recently
tre
published
cose.
that
Che
states that makes
circa il
a few statements.
70% delle
Roughly
persone
70% of people
preferirà continuare a lavorare a casa almeno
will
un
prefer
giorno o
to
due alla
continue
settimana.
to work at
Poi
home
per il
at least
resto c'è una
1 to
grande
2 days a
voglia di
week. And
tornare
on
tutti
top
quanti
of this,
insieme,
there's
di
a great
confrontarsi,
desire to go back
di
to
vedersi e di
meeting in
fare
person,
cose che un po'
to
ci siamo
talk,
dimenticati.
exchange ideas, and do things
Circa
we've
la metà di
almost
queste
forgotten
persone hanno detto che gli
in this
spazi
last
della
1 year. And
casa non
these people have
sono poi
said that
così
home
adeguati per
spaces
lavorare
are not so
e almeno
adequate
uno su tre
for working as a
racconta
work environment. And at
che
least
le
1 in
giornate
3
passate a casa tra
says that
documenti e
the days we spend at
videocomunicazioni
home
si arriva
reading
totalmente
documents,
esausti
carrying
alla
out
fine della
video
giornata.
conferences is something
Parlo
really
del
exhausting at
lavoro
the end
perché
of the
in
day. And I'm
effetti
referring to
tutta la nostra
work
vita
and
ruota
to the labor
intorno al
sphere because
lavoro.
actually our
Anzi,
entire
la
life
nostra vita
revolves around
gira
work.
intorno al lavoro, gira intorno
Our
all'informazione, gira
life revolves
intorno
around
alle
work,
relazioni che
information,
riusciamo a
relations we
definire.
manage to
Quindi c'è una
define.
domanda, c'è un'osservazione, c'è un tema
So
che credo
there's a
sia
question,
abbastanza
there's an observation,
interessante
there's
per
a
tutti
theme
noi.
that I
La prima
think is
cosa,
very interesting
quali
for us
saranno le
all.
funzioni
So in the first
che la
place, what
casa
are the
acquisirà nei prossimi
functions
anni?
that our home places are going to acquire
L'osservazione è di
in the
comprendere
next few
dove
years?
troveremo la casa,
And we
cercheremo la
should also
casa come la cercavamo prima negli
see in
stessi
more
luoghi
detail whether
o
we're
andiamo a
trying to
cercarla in
look for
maniera
a home place
diversa
as we did in the past. Will it be the same places of the
e
past?
molto
Will it be a
probabilmente
different
la
home place?
casa non sarà
Will it
più
we be looking for it
semplicemente
in
il
different
luogo dove
manners?
andiamo a
And very
dormire,
probably the house
dove
won't
stare
be
insieme
simply the
con la
place
propria
where we go to
famiglia,
sleep
dove
or where we
conservare le
spend time
nostre
with our
cose,
families or
ma
where
un
we
pezzetto
keep
rimarrà
our
sicuramente come
dearest objects.
luogo di
A
lavoro.
part of our home place will
Questa
continue to
cosa
be a
credo
workplace.
che modifichi in maniera
I believe that
importante
this
i consumi,
radically changes
modifica le esigenze e
consumption
la
patterns
tipologia dei
as well
prodotti,
as
oltre
the
che
needs
modificare,
for
credo, in una
products, the types
maniera
of products we need,
assolutamente
on top
importante
of
anche le relazioni
changing
tra i
radically
componenti della
the
famiglia e tra i
relationships
componenti,
amongst the
diciamo
various
così,
family members
dell'amicizia,
and
delle cose che vediamo intorno a noi.
with in terms of the
Sicuramente
dear
questo è un tema che come
objects
Zanotta
around
portiamo avanti
us.
almeno da un paio di
This is a
anni.
topic that we have
La
been
casa sarà
considering for the
sicuramente
last 2 years
su
at
misura
Zanotta.
sulle
A home place will
persone, sulle
be
cose. Quando noi
more
pensiamo a uno
customized
spazio, quando
to
noi
meet the
pensiamo a un
needs of the
prodotto,
people that
cerchiamo
inhabit
di
it.
avere
So
in
when we
mente
think of a house and a
soprattutto una
product,
persona.
we, of
Quindi la
course,
casa dovrà
take
sicuramente
care
essere più
of the
vicina
person
a
in the
quelle che
first
sono sia le
place, being
esigenze
people-centered,
funzionali,
which
sia i
means that
prodotti che
a home
sono
place will
adatti
have
o
to
sono
be
più adatti per
capable of
vivere e soprattutto dovrà
offering
essere
spaces
dovrà
and products
soddisfare
that
anche
are more suitable to
esigenze
one's
emotive,
own
avere
living,
intorno a noi le
and at the
cose
same
che
time be
ci
capable of
piacciono.
meeting emotional needs.
Noi
Having
in questo
objects we like
momento,
around us will
come
be
Zanotta, abbiamo
important.
cercato di fare questo,
This is what
abbiamo
Zanotta has
cercato
been
di pensare
concentrating
al futuro,
on. We've been
abbiamo
considering
cercato,
the
e lo
future.
vedrete fra
We
un po',
concentrated
di
on the future.
continuare a innovare
We
anche nel tema
decided to
dei
continue
prodotti
to
e soprattutto
innovate
2 o 3 elementi in più
in terms
forse
of the products we offer. And
rispetto allo
there are
scorso
a couple of
anno,
more
un'attenzione
elements on top
diversa
of
agli spazi dove
what
noi
we
andiamo a
presented
sperimentare
last
o
year.
andiamo a
So we
trasferire a quella che è la
also
nostra idea di casa.
considered in more
L'abbiamo
detail the
fatto, è
spaces
stato
where
aperto
we
questa mattina a
will be
Milano,
working from, so the
a
home
maggio
spaces.
lo
We've
faremo a
done
New
it
York,
in
in
Milan
una casa molto
this morning.
importante per
We will do it
raccontare
in
in
May
maniera
in New
plurale
York,
quello che sarà la
in
nostra
a very
idea
important
del
home place
vivere
that tells the story
e
of our
soprattutto a
ideas
settembre,
concerning
dove
living.
speriamo ci
And
si
in
può
September,
rincontrare, dove ci si può rivedere.
when we meet,
Poi anche qui non lo
when we
sappiamo
hope
se
we will
sarà
be
per il
meeting in
salone, ma
person.
sicuramente ci
We
mettiamo
don't
nella
know whether this is
condizione
going
di
to
potervi
happen
ospitare
at the
sicuramente a
moment of
casa,
the Salone,
dove
but for
stiamo
sure we will be in
organizzando
a position to
un'accademia,
host you
quindi
at
un posto
home, so
per
to say. We're organizing
condividere
an
insieme le
academy.
nostre
We're
idee,
organizing
per
to be in a place where
sperimentare
we
i
can
nuovi
share
spazi e per
ideas and
farci
experiment
riconoscere in
with
maniera
new
nuova. Ecco, questo
spaces,
spazio
be
lo
capable of
chiamiamo
being
Accademia.
recognizable in a new way. And this
Quindi ci
new space is
tenevo
going to be
questa
called the
mattina a
Academy,
farvi questo
Accademia.
saluto
So
ed
I
ora
really
do la
wanted
parola
to
a
welcome
Silvia
you this morning, and
per
now leave the floor to
introdurci e per
Silvia
entrare nei lavori
for
della
to give
giornata.
us an
Buon lavoro a
introduction and
tutti.
tell us more about the day. I wish you a
Thank
successful
you,
outcome.
Mr. Mosconi. And good
Grazie,
morning,
grazie
everybody,
signor
and good
Mosconi.
afternoon and good
Buongiorno a
evening,
tutti e
because
naturalmente
many
buon
people are
pomeriggio,
connected to
buonasera,
this
perché
webinar
molte
from
persone
Europe, but
sono
also for
collegate a
Asia,
questo web.
from the Middle East to the Far East. For the second time, Zanotta launches his collection in a digital event during this pandemic. But today, after 1 year, I think we can be more optimistic because now we can see a way out thanks to the vaccines. During this pandemic, we have changed so many things of our way of life. And many of us have started to reconsider what is really important in life, certainly the home. Our houses are the center of our lives, are the shelter, the safe place where to be and where to work, and where to meet friends and to stay with the family. But we know that this pandemic has only accelerated and speed up the trends that were already underway. And I think, as an example, at the research of a better quality of life, the attention to sustainability and the discovery of value, the rediscovery of value in life. So there are many ways to introduce the brand Zanotta. We can talk about the history and the heritage, which is very important. And we can say that the best designers has worked for them. We can count awards and also museums. There are 53 museums where Zanotta products are in permanent collection. And we can say also that Zanotta production is 100% made in Italy. But this year I prefer to talk about the soul of Zanotta, which is intuition, curiosity, and risk-taking. It's the idea that furniture industry can't simply follow the trends, but must anticipate future needs. And so it is for the 2020 and 2021 collection by Zanotta that were conceived before the pandemic, but they are exactly about a new scale of values into relations between person, furnishing, and the home. Back to Emotion was the 2020 collection. and it interprets the need for a more authentic and empathetic design. Zanotta puts on central stage the everyday life. The product focus is essential, simple design, and capacity to adapt to the needs of the users, offering emotion and quality of life. Intimacy is the 2021 collection and tells the story of living spaces that change over the time, sharing their existence and transformation. We are in continuity with the 2020 collection Back to Emotion, and it narrates our deep relationships with the objects that surround us and are integral to our personality and personal history, because a room is not just a neutral location filled with furniture, is a silent witness of our lives, a space which changes and grows with us, gathers up our memories and feelings, and recounts our truest and most private moments. And just because we are talking about two collections, we have decided to split our conversation into two different moments. In the first one, we will present the 2021 collection with the three design firms involved. Then we shall play the Zanotta Stories 2020 collection video and start with the second part of our webinar, which will be a roundtable discussion about the meaning of good design with all the designers involved in the design of the collection. So I think now it's the moment to start with our presentation and with the video trailer of the 2021 collection. So what we have seen is the trailer of the multi-episode mini-series by Giulia Conoscenti, narrated by Mavì Cerenza, that tells the story of Intimacy collection. And here is the first project and the first design firm. We start with Misto, an Italian-Japanese industrial design studio that was established in by Noah Ikeuchi and Tommaso Nani, and is based in Tokyo and Milan. It's a bridge across two cultures, between Europe and Asia, and they work in a range, very big range of products, from small objects and furniture to spatial design. And they are on constant research to simplify the expression, try to design products that brings a very good vibration, but conceived with a rigorous and industrial-driven process. So it's with us, Tommaso Nani. Tommaso, you here? You're okay.
Hello.
And let's talk about your product for the Intimacy collection by Zanotta, Ambrosiano, a modular table.
Yes. So what can I say? This table, when we started to think about it, we were given a kind of specific brief from the company, which, as you said, is something modular or something flexible. So we started thinking about how it can be conceived as a contemporary product for the today home, and also for the today interiors, domestic interiors, and also working environments. But without forgetting about the context we were in. So the context is Zanotta. It's a company that in the category of tables has many iconic products, especially two very iconic products, which are the Leonardo and Bramante by the Castiglione brothers. So we took this as a starting point to design a table with trestles, with tripods, but trying to make it look a little bit simpler and smoothing out a little bit that laboratory feeling that sometimes in general this typology has. So if we analyze very quickly the trestle typology, it's usually have a lot of advantages, like the freedom in choices of material, the flexibility in dimensions. It can be stored easily if it's foldable, for example. But it has also sometimes some disadvantages, which are the trestle usually is bulky and it's a little bit takes space underneath the table, so you cannot use correctly the amount of chairs on a given dimensional table. So our interpretation, our idea was simple, and but I think is very effective, and it's we locked these elements in wood to extruded beams, so you can have a very solid construction, and by doing this we can have more space around the table to use, and it reduced the volume, so it can be kind of flat pack when it's shipped, and it blends maybe a little bit better into any interior space. If we speak about the character of the product or the atmosphere, we wanted something that was a little bit in between domestic and work environment and work. So choosing the typology of the trestle, I think, was a good idea, because it gives a little bit a nuance of this laboratory feeling, but we work in order to simplify the expression and to make it as simple as possible, but keeping the character of something that you can work on it. And basically, we work a lot on synthesis and refine all the elements, because it's composed by really few elements, the minimum amount of elements possible to for creating a solid construction. So it's as you can see in these pictures, it became really solid. So we decided to put also marble and stones, so heavy materials, and it can bring almost 3 meters of stone with just 2 elements of wood. So it's very versatile product,
and it's you have many possibility, many of configuration, many materials, but you have very few elements. This table is not only seen to be simple; it's really simple. There are very few elements.
Yeah, elements are only the basic elements we need to build a table. So a top, some connections, and the legs. That's it. But we work.
And only 8 screws.
Yes, only 8 screws.
Yeah.
So to mount it, to when it's, of course, when it's disassembled, to assemble it is very easy. You just screw 8 bolts, and it's ready. So, and the top is placed on top of this structure without any. It's not fixed, but it's placed with some, of course, details underneath to make it flat. And yes, this picture shows very well the basic elements.
Very simple. And I think that this table is also really contemporary, because of it's a multifunction. You say it's something that need for domestic or for work, it's or also in a laboratory, but it is also something that could be very simple but very elegant, and it's something that can change in time during your life, because you can decide to change the top or to change the legs.
Yeah, exactly. It's, for example, I don't know, in some years we want to add some materials on the top, or some new materials come out. It's possible just to place it, and or if if part breaks, you can replace it, because everything is separable. So yeah, I think it's very efficient, but with I think strong character, kind of good balanced character between something super simple and something that makes his presence in the room.
Okay, thank you very much, Tommaso.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and the second product of our 2021 collection is from Palomba Serafini Associati. That is a studio based in Milan since 1994, founded by Lodovica and Roberto Palomba, that are architects and designers. And their distinctive hallmark is the capacity to combine a contemporary vision of society and user needs with an extensive knowledge of the historical and cultural roots of design, producing results that blend the past and the future. It's a unique and personal approach that makes them particularly sensitive to the issues about function, but also to the need to create long-lasting products. And the product we are talking about today is a Piano Alto, a modular sofa, and in particular 2 new curve modules. And Roberto, are you with us? Ciao, Roberto.
I am with you. Ciao, Silvia. Ciao, everybody. I'm so sorry that this year we have to do all these meetings in digital. I'm used to come to United States and join Zanotta team and share all our design live. But we have to be patient a little bit more. We see the light at the end of the tunnel, so we have to be positive. By the way, I think that this year we presented these new modules of Piano Alto, and you have to know that this module had been designed in the original, the first draft of this project, but we decided to integrate it just now. And it is nice because this moment, I think these modules, they really represent a sort of a hug. The idea of a very relaxing sofa, depth where you can stay, where you can have a conversation, very informal sitting. You can share the life with your family. You have those different modules that you can combine in a very free way, and I think what we need in this moment is cuddles, hugs, and nothing more. We discover with this pandemic that we are forced to stay home, and I think it's time to make our home very cozy, very comfortable, and a very simple sofa like Piano Alto is having a lot of success. I have to say that Piano Alto is a quite old product. It's now many years, and with these new models, it's getting more contemporary and is getting, I think, a little bit more updated. But we see that simple shape and simple, simple products, simple volumes. Everybody likes this kind of design because it's very friendly, very cozy, and very comfortable.
But it's I think it's quite another an idea of comfort. In this year, it's completely changed. If I see these new modules of the Piano Alto sofa, I can see a different way to stay on the sofa. You can be really relaxed, or you can sit, because I think you can work on this now. You can make conversation, you can relax and watch television and have a film. It's a really flexible idea of comfort, of the use of a sofa in a house today.
Before it was different. I think we have to think that in the last when the technology changed our life, and so we have no more bookshelf. On the other side, we didn't need more cabinets for all the stuff that we are used to have in the house. So this part of the living room, they became the kingdom of the sofa. The couch became the center, the protagonist of the family life in our houses. So we are living the sofas in a completely different way. Before it was more for formal conversation, so it was very short, very formal. You can sit in a very formal way. But now we sit in a completely different way. So we work, we live, we watch TV or at the iPad. We chat with friends. We share the life we cuddle with our family. No, we stay there with the dog, and we put the feet on the sofa. And I mean, it's completely different the way we live with this kind of product. And also they became bigger, because if even if you have a small room and you have a big sofa, you live like a room in the room. So it's and when you have the right accessories, you can combine those kind of very simple volumes with nice accessories, and they became really useful for to have an informal, easy, very simple life, and that makes a sofa really the protagonist, the center, the core of the house. I think this is very important, because it's more than everything today. Is the sofa became the core of the house.
And this sofa has the possibility to change with you, and because it's really flexible, you can change some elements and have a sofa completely different during the time.
Yes, I think we this typology is it's very useful. It's very easy to be combined. Different modules, different depths, many kind of different kind of combination. Uh, Changing the modules, you can create the kind of life you like. If you want to be more cozy, more formal, more relaxed, if you want to work, or I think the modular sofas are really interesting in the way they can furnish the house. And this is I think a very good sample. I think that uh, simple things are very I don't want to say trendy, but simple products, they are very good for to have a simple life. And I think what we need today is a simple, useful life. Uh, I think we are too much stressed, and we want to come back at home and relax on something nice, simple, and comfortable.
And like to
This is
take it
important.
easy, yeah. And we
Yeah,
like to take it easy.
it's so. I mean, or we can go out, and then when we can go out, we come back more stressed than we. So this is this is a strange moment, but I still want to believe that this is an opportunity. We discover. I mean, I can't travel in this moment of my life. I would used to
Yeah.
fly more than a bird, and I'm forced to stay in Milano all my time, and I'm traveling a different way. I'm traveling inside of myself. I'm doing a very intimate. We're talking about intimacy with this new collection. That's exactly what means. This pandemic is forcing us to have a very intimate dialogue with ourselves, and I think seated on our couch in a very informal way. Um, it's a way to travel in a different way inside of ourselves, and it's a different travel, but I think it's interesting the same, perhaps sometimes more.
Okay, that's
Maybe
fine.
even best to crash with a plane.
Yeah, hope to travel again as soon as possible. And
For
thank you
sure.
very much, Roberto.
You're welcome.
So, the third product of the collection is the tweed coffee tables, and they have been designed by Garcia Cumini, the third design firm tonight with us. They are a couple in life and in work. They are the meeting of two cultures, Italian and Spanish, and they work in the northeast of Italy in a wonderful city, which is Udine. And they mix two cultures with creativity, beauty, and joie de vivre, that are the fundamental values. The company was launched in 2012, combining the experience of Vicente Garcia Jimenez and Cinzia Cumini, two complementary personalities, and they have an holistic approach to design, and they built their philosophy on the concept of slow design. For Zanotta, they designed the tweed coffee tables. So here we are. What about these beautiful coffee tables?
First of all, I want to say hello to everyone, and I'm very happy to be. We are very happy to be part of this event, and we are sure that soon we can see the most of you in person.
Buenos días a todo el pueblo americano.
E suramericano, igualmente.
Americano.
Americano. Bueno, no, sorry, okay. What Zanotta asked us about this collection was to enlarge the family of the tweed table. This happened after we launched the table in 2017. This means that this product has enough story and is a part of what we think about slow design. That means that when a product has become a sort of I don't want to say a bestseller, but a product that has a market, an accomplished market, then we can think of enlarging the family. Enlarging this family, we didn't make only a play of making them bigger, smaller, higher, or taller. We studied new proportions and new dimensions and new shapes consequently. In fact, with these new proportions and dimension, we can combine together these three pieces, or they can work in couple, or they can work also alone. But always in combination with other elements of the homes, like sofas, like beds, like armchairs. And this playful character that the tweed table, mini table has, is that they create a connection between these elements of the house and between themselves. So they create some landscapes in the house that is possible to play with them, to move them in the rooms, or in the same room, or even in other rooms.
And also you can do many different things with this kind of tables, because it's a sort of it's complementary to the idea of a sofa that is the center of our house and the center of our life. And on the sofa you can eat, you can work, you can do many things. And so this kind of coffee tables are able to be complementary and to serve this kind of sofa.
As the tweed table, which is 74 centimeters high, it's very interesting because it's in the middle between a square table and a round table. So more of the times when you design a dining area, it's important to give a space, just to walk around, So we try to do the best and to do the same and to bring the same concept to the side tables, because you can play, as Cinzia said before, with one or two or three
of
them, creating different layers, But at the same time, it has the same peculiarity. So in case you have just this very small space, so you have your sofa, so you can play and you can design with one of them alone. But it has this fluency, and this continuous of the line that is not a square and it's not round. So helps the people just to make the best of the space,
Yeah, the shape is rich and simple at the same time, because if you see it from above, it's very essential, the design, but the pattern of the top has a graphic that is the typical graphic of the tweed table. And we think that we have united in a certain way some richness and essentiality without being too excessive in the result.
But I think it's also interesting the contrast because you have two different materials, the top and the legs.
Yeah. It's like clothes, no? When you like to
Mix together.
to mix
Mix
together.
and match, yes,
Mix
yes.
and match.
Silk and jeans, yeah, okay, silk and
We
denim.
have also a mix of material, no? So because we have the top is composed by walnut or oak, natural or black, and these unique steel legs. As you see, you have 4 legs for 2 dimensions and 3 legs for one of them, the smaller. But at the same time, is the higher.
So we have a very natural material and a very technological one combined together.
They are not
And I
fixed
think,
together.
yes, and I think it's a perfect match. So thank you very much, Cinzia.
Thank you to
and
you all.
Thank you, Silvia.
Vicente. Ciao, bye bye.
Bye.
So, and now let's start with the second part of our conversation, our roundtable discussion about good design. We can play the 2020's Back to Emotion collection video. And these were the beautiful drawings and animation by Michele Bernardi and Penelope Jossen. And now let's start with our roundtable discussion. Tonight, unfortunately, Patrick Norguet can't be with us, but we have Monica Forster from Sweden, and that designed the elegant writing desk Tucano for the collection. Then we have Francesca Lanzavecchia from Lanzavecchia NY, and that they designed Nena, an armchair conceived as a tailored interpretation of a comfortable embrace. We have again Roberto Palomba that designed Dove, another sofa, and Ryder, the rocker chaise-longue, and then Simone Spalvieri from Spalvieri e del Ciotto from Tolentino, in the very center of Italy in the Marco region, that designed the bed Ricordi. We don't have very much time, but we'd like to show how much good projects can improve our life, can be sustainable and create spatial objects. It's the idea to return to relate to things and becoming attached to them. And it is obviously the opposite of fast consumption, and is also a matter of freedom from style and fashion trends. So the first thing I'd like to know from our designer is what it is in a definition of good design. So Monica, can you tell us what is good design for you?
Hello, Silvia, again, and hello, everyone. And yes, we were talking about this earlier today, and for me, I think that for sure that we are like heading in a direction where the clients and the market will demand more information from the companies where and how products are made. I mean, for me, I think that a product is no longer only about styling, like you also mentioned, Silvia. It's actually about the product itself, meaning how it's made, how it's produced, how it functions, and how it looks. I think it's better to buy less but higher quality so that the product lasts longer and does not break, for example. So really, for me, it's about less quantity but better quality. Also, for me personally, I would like more time to design even better products. So for me, I mean that we're going from one minimalist way of thinking, such as, for example, from less is more to less is better.
Which is a very, very beautiful thing. And Francesca, and for you, what is the good design? We can't hear
Again,
Francesca. Okay, that's fine. Again.
sorry. I would like to say hello to everyone in the States and South America. And well, to us, good design, first of all, is a design that deserves to exist. So we don't want to be landfill designers. It's a design that answer real needs and support our life and lifestyle, both on a physical level, but also on a psychological one. Good design to us is deeply human and create a strong bond with the user. It really touches us. It's sensitive, it's empathic, it's experiential. Good design can create the object of affection, intimate companions for mindful living. Can bring good energy and positive energy to the space because it's poetic, it's light, it's humorous. And we believe that good design is always made in dialogue, it's never the fruit of only the work of designers. Actually, not at all. It's the fruit of an harmonious work with teamwork between the designers and the brand. So we work for and together with our clients and good design is gives shape to what is the intersection between what the client needs and what the world needs. Good design is sustainable. We spoke a long time about sustainability today. So we believe sustainability is first of all build products in the best possible way with the best materials, and to engineer them so that they can last long, to craft them with skills, great skills, and to be considerate when you create them, both of the maintenance and the afterlife. And the last thing is that we believe that good design always tells a story and manifests a vision, and it can support our life and aspirations.
Wonderful. Roberto Palomba, what is good design for you?
To say like Achille Castiglioni, good design is doesn't pretend to leave a landmark, an egocentric landmark, but try to create a long-lasting relationship with the end users. I think this is good design. Less style, more design. I think this is the rule. You can think in many ways. You could be eco-friendly, could be comfortable. You can be good. I don't know, say good quality. Anything. But what is important is that it has to be fully dedicated to the people. I work for the people, for the end user. I try to make my design for the people that one day they're going to sit on a sofa, light a lamp, use a bathroom or whatever, because this is good design. It's dedicated to the end user. Otherwise, we I don't think is a good. We don't do a good job.
It's not design. It is
Yeah, it's
not
not design.
design.
This is otherwise it's just art or decoration or I don't know what, but it's not design. Design is a useful thing.
Simone, and what about your idea of good design?
Hello to all. Hi, Silvia. For us, good design means, first of all, respect the nature. For us, it's very important. It's also part of our choice to live where we live. So after that, we think that we need to simplify complexities today because technology and new materials are our vocabulary. So for our stories, our role is to humanize this innovation, this technology, to create new but understandable objects. So in a very fast market like we are living today, good design means also slowness. For us, it's very important to be slow because if we think about good design in the past, good design was the design made by designers and companies that worked together with calm, with to understand the possible mistakes, to understand and by mistake to understand how to improve the objects and the quality of our life.
Okay, thank you. Monica, you designed Tucano, the award Tucano we know we have seen tonight, and so congratulations. We can show it with a picture, and it's a writing desk. And what do you think it's the heart and the soul of this object?
Well, maybe it's like this, that when you have been in Roberto Palomba's sofa cuddling with the family for some time, you feel that you need some quiet space for yourself. And either you can, you need to go and work, or maybe you can even pretend that you need to work, to get the quiet space. So, I mean, the Tucano desk is really actually received the brief from Zanotta, which I think was quite interesting. I think Zanotta is quite a forward-thinking company, and the brief was received already maybe 1 year before the pandemic. So I think it's been a very interesting typology to work with during this time. And the way it was designed was really to fit for the home. It's quite a small piece. It's around 50 times 1 meters, and it's a very, very light. It's made with we worked a lot with the construction of the table, so that even though it looks very light, it's very, very strong. And the leather, which is kind of just lying on top of a metal surface, it's made like it looks like it's floating, sort of. I also really like the way that we have worked together with Zanotta on the edges and the detailing of this. And the idea with the table is really that you don't necessarily need to have a separate room for this table. It really fits into maybe, beside Roberto Palomba's sofa in the living room.
Which is perfect. Francesca, why do you decide to design and conceived an hug as a chair?
Well, Nena is a chair that actually we designed starting from a briefing, but thinking about it the other way around. So when they asked us to design a chair with armrest, the armrest became the main feature of the chair. They asked us to design a chair that look and feel comfortable, and that's why we embodied this feeling of comfort with its ultimately comforting gesture, the hug. So that's what the armrest stays for, and we like to think of object like life mate, like if they are they are people, they are a little character that surround us, and that's why we have been trying to look for a quirky proportion, the dynamicity of the frame, to make Nena into a surprising and nice friend with a strong character to spend quality time with your friends, with your family around the table.
So very warm, a very warm idea of house. And Roberto, and for you is the year of the chair, of the seat, of anything you can sit on. And so you designed a sofa and a rocker chaise longue. And what about these two products and the good design inside them?
I just want to say something before about the desk of Monica. You didn't know that it was shooted in my bedroom, in my house, in my bedroom, and it was very nice because it fit perfectly in a living room, but fit perfectly even in a bedroom. So I have to say that during the days that we were doing the photo shoot, the desk was nearby a big window, watching my terrace, and during the night I have to write something, and I was using this desk, and it was very, very nice to use it. So thank you, Monica, for the desk. By the way, we designed a couple of product last year, the Dove sofa, that is basically made with the idea of pillows, and it's like, pillow for me represent the idea of not only sleeping, is also the idea of childhood. My brothers and I, when we were very young, we used to do battles with pillows. My mother was not so happy, but it's okay. And so this idea of pillow was the idea of a very fresh, comfortable. It was like a cradle, like a nest. So we designed a sofa made of pillows, to emphasize this idea of cuddling and fun and childhood, I think. And this is a modular sofa too, with a very simple structure, with aluminum casted feet, and a big pillow made in polyurethane and foam, and that makes it very soft, very comfortable. And on the other side, we design this rocking, chaise longue rocking chair. It's named Rider, and it's funny. There's it's made with leather cedar. We did with Zanotta a couple of products with this material that I love very much. It comes from this idea of leather that is very strong, very that gets quality in the time, and there is also this soft pillow that makes very comfortable. The funny thing of this rocking chair is that you can lie, and then you can find your position. You just move your feet a little bit, and they start to rock. So it's perfectly balanced. So you just adjust your body, and then if you just move one feet up and down, it starts to rock in a very funny way. And I think it's a perfect place to read a book, to cuddle, to spend time, or chat with friends. That is another way. Now we can meet friends, so why don't we chat? So that's the only thing we can.
We love you, Roberto. Everything is about playing, and it's beautiful. A battle of cushions, and now also to be funny, to be on a rocker chair. Thank you. And Simone, what about Ricordi, your bed, which is very very strange, very simple, but very evocative and emotional, like a bed.
Yeah, yes. This is a bed. This is the bed we designed for for our home. So we designed this bed because it's something very pure, made of pure and durable science. An object designed for the future, but as the name suggests, because the name record in English means memories, refers to constructive quality of the past. We thought about the space in the rooms, the bedroom in our grandparents' rooms. So where the objects were simple but made to last. So this bed is made to last because it's made of pure materials like steel and wood, and we use this material in a very rough way. So we love to have an intimate piece for the most intimate place of the home, that is the bedroom. So I think Ricordi is the perfect bed for this reason.
Wonderful. And so here we are with our last questions, and it's the same for each one of you. And is there something, a particular idea you are working on, thinking about the future? Monica?
Thinking about the future, I don't know. It's. I think that for me, I think that I will sort of continue in the way that I have been working and the way I've been approaching design with my studio since I started. And one of the ways that we've been working with has been really that every piece we're doing, it should not be able to look at it and say what time it was designed. So you could think that it was designed 20 years ago. You could think it was designed yesterday, or maybe for the future. I think that is how I look at it. And less is better. Choose objects that you want to have for a lifetime, and design from that, and also that I would really like to have even more time to spend on each project to make it even better.
Okay, thank you, Monica. And Francesca, for you, what about the future?
Well, the future for us as a design studio is multidisciplinary, and we hope to be able to use more and more lateral thinking to mix our expertise and know-how together with both human sciences and more technical sciences. We'd like to work more with doctors, engineers, biologists, psychologists, sociologists, and to be able to achieve more complex understanding of the world and design for bigger problems. And another thing we would like to do more of is our design to be more inclusive. And that's a mission we have since when we started the studio, designing the first collection for the elderlies. And we think that design should be beautiful and inclusive for all abilities and all ages. And that's what we are gonna push for.
And it's very important, and I think very clever. Good girl, Francesca. And Roberto, for you, what are you thinking about the future?
Survive. I think that we have to be able to, with this pandemic, I think is it already enough if we are able to survive. Now I'm joking, of course. I think for the future we have to go on putting the people, the end user in the center of what we do. That's exactly what I'm doing still in the beginning. I think less style, more design. This is my idea. I think stop playing the role of movie stars, and being more dedicated good design. And I say to myself also, because not also sometimes I'm attracted to the star system and to the bling bling of this job. But I think that we have to try to make a better products every day, and do a big effort to find the same inspiration of masters of our job. That's all, I think. Doing better, doing better. I agree with Monica. Let's do better, and try to make. But in this moment, I'm doing things that are not so much less, but I'm going to burn in the hell. I think I will burn in the hell of good design. I'm working for fashion in this moment.
Yeah.
And
And
this I think the worst thing I can ever do in my life.
see you in the hell. Simone, and for you?
We think for the future we need more and more to simplify complexity, because I think the technology is very fast. So I think we need to be slow to think quick. So at the end, our role as designers, I think, will be more and more to simplify things and make things that yes, are contemporary and things of the future, but with the simplicity of the past and the durability of the past. So when we think about reusable objects, etc., I think it's important to retry to make useful and object made to last as the past. So for the future, our idea and our hope is that.
Okay, that's fine. So I thank you very much, everybody. And I think we can show the pictures of the only product we can see, because the Patrick Norgay is not with us, and it's the other awarded product of the night, which is then the chair design. Here it is, by Patrick Norgay, awarded with the best design of this year. And so at the moment I have only a question, which is for Tommaso Nani of Misto about the Ambrosiano table. And I have no other questions coming from the audience. So Tommaso, may I ask you the question?
Yes.
Here you are. And so, why do you name the table Ambrosiano, which is Milanese? It's another way to say Milanese. Why do you choose this name?
The name actually was a little bit a hard, long journey, because spent some time, of course, filling notebooks of names, and then we proposed something to them. And there was one name that I liked, and we liked. It was Refettorio, but we didn't find an agree with the company. So, and they proposed back this name, Ambrosiano. So I think it's even better, because what we proposed before was a little bit too much ecclesiastic, I would say. But the idea behind it, we wanted to give a name, because, for example, refectorio means refectory or dining hall, so a place where you eat together, and also when do things together, or meetings. So the idea was to give this sense of staying together, something that can be adapted to a space, from dining to meetings to whatever. So this was the idea behind. And Ambrosiano, yeah, there is of course a Refettorio Ambrosiano. There is a reference to Milano, so this is why it's more a subtle concept, but that's the reason.
Something about making anyway, because we are from Milan. So we don't have any question from the audience, so I think we can finish our conversation. And I thank you very much, everybody, all the designers, thank Zanotta to give me this opportunity, and I'm very pleased to be with you today. And so bye-bye, see you, and thank you again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.